This is a really cool place to do an interview. There's a bar in this building. We are at Deutsch Family Wine and Spirits here with President Tom Steffanci. Thank you for being with us.
Happy to be here.
Newly relocated to Stamford, Connecticut.
Yes.
The governor's giving away the farm, so you might as well come. Everybody else is, it's okay.
He was very helpful and we appreciate that.
So Deutsch Family Wine and Spirits started 1982 by Bill Deutsch.
Correct.
As an importer.
As an importer initially, he was employee number one. Just had our 35th anniversary.
Awesome. And to import wine, you know, just so people understand, there's basically a three-tier system, isn't there, in
Correct.
the wine world?
Correct.
So you got the winery, then you got you guys, and then...
And we have distributors,
Right.
and then we have retailers or restaurants, and then consumers.
So what's changed over the years for you guys? I mean, because you're not just importers anymore.
No, we now co-own brands with some folks from around the world. We co-own brands with some folks domestically. We own our own brands. So we have ventured out, but what hasn't changed is we still sell to a great network of distributors who then sell to restaurants and retailers.
All right, so Tom, tell us, what are the big trends? Because man, I feel like you can't go wrong in this business lately. It's on fire.
It's a good business. It's probably more competitive than it looks from a distance, but we do have positive things happening. So in wine, while consumption isn't growing as fast as it was growing the last couple of years, we still have good trade up. So in dollars, wine is growing about 5%, even though in units it's below 2%. Wine had been the leader between beer, wine, and spirits for many years. Spirits has now taken that mantle. So spirit dollars are growing about 7%. And that's a more recent phenomenon, and then beer is the lagger at basically flat.
I find it so interesting that's like, was it the Mad Men craze? Like, spirits are hot, cocktails are hot again. You know, at one point I think everyone thought that they were gonna have a wine cellar, and that's not really true anymore. Now you need like cool bar apparatus.
I think you still need a wine cellar. I might be a little biased since we sell a little bit of wine. But I think what's happened with spirits, and I give a lot of credit to our competitors, I think spirits have become very mainstream. So Mad Men helped, but so did Sex and the City. So spirits as a part of drinking in moderation and a part of a wider group of consumers' lives is now more socially acceptable, where 20 years ago that wasn't the case. So I think that's helped. Spirits has become part of what people eat and drink on a more regular basis, on a very casual basis. And the stigma associated with spirits has really gradually declined.
Oh, I totally agree. Because at one point, you know, we had the liquid lunch down on Wall Street, then it went away. Now, not that anyone's drinking at lunch, but they're certainly having a cocktail after work again.
I think they are, and I think they're having a cocktail after work. They might savor that for 30 minutes. So there's a moderation aspect to this that I think has helped it fit into the culture more acceptably. And I think it's tied to other trends that are happening with spirits as well in terms of trade up and things like that.
Yeah, so let's talk about trade up, but let's talk about the economy. Do you think the economy is part of the reason that all of a sudden we're willing to spend, I mean, you know, in Manhattan, you're gonna spend $15 on a martini.
I think you've had a slow improvement in the economy. You know better than I do just how it's the slowest really since we came out of the Great. So it's a slow improvement. It hasn't been evenly dispersed. So, you know, you have the affluent who's seen their incomes grow more quickly, and that group is driving a lot of these trends. But even for the middle class, it's not a huge indulgence. So yes, you might spend $18 on, you know, a Manhattan in Manhattan, but it's still $18. So it's still an affordable indulgence.
Right, you still can make the mortgage payment.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, but when you're saying people trade up, what does that mean though? That's product they're trading up.
Yes, so people are drinking what they consider to be better brands, more expensive brands, even though the amount they're drinking is flat and in some cases declining. So they're choosing higher quality products that are a bit more expensive. And we're seeing that trend is just as prevalent in wine as it is in spirits. It's parallel in both those categories.
That's interesting. That's like buying a pair of Christian Louboutins instead of 5 other pairs of shoes. You want one good one. And
Exactly.
that's kind of what we're seeing.
Yes, yeah, but it's not as dramatic, right? Because it might be $2 more a cocktail or $5 more a bottle. So it doesn't have to be a huge dramatic shift.
You guys aren't publicly traded, but based on all this, you got to believe there's an investment opportunity in the companies that are public out there.
I think there are, absolutely.
I mean, because this trend is going to continue.
I
We
think
hope.
it is. I think the trade up will continue, and then there's segments within spirits and segments within wine that are getting a disproportionate share of the benefit.
All right. Tom Steffanci, president of Deutsch Family Wine and Spirits. We're going to go have some whiskey now.